Hypothermia kills within just hours. Medical textbooks are absolutely clear about this scientific fact. Yet Black homeless women survive entire frozen winters, sleeping in cars without heat, electricity, or the resources that shelters promise but rarely actually deliver to them. They face compounded dangers that their white counterparts often escape entirely. Harassment from police, violence from strangers, systems that overlook them completely. Still, they wake up every single morning. The techniques they have developed represent survival engineering that most experts have never documented or studied. What do these women know about staying alive that the rest of us do not? Here is the thing about sleeping in a car during winter. Glass is a traitor. Every window in your vehicle is basically a heat vampire, sucking warmth out of your car all night long without mercy. About 70% of the heat you lose disappears straight through those windows into the freezing darkness. Your body works overtime, producing 80 to 100 watts of heat, which sounds impressive until you realize it escapes faster than you can possibly make it. For Black homeless women, this physics problem comes with an extra dangerous layer. They cannot just park anywhere they want. They cannot just ask anyone for help safely. They have to survive the cold while also surviving everything else America throws at them. So what have they figured out that others have not? They build what veterans call a coffin. Not a real one, obviously, but they take rigid foam insulation boards from hardware stores and cut them to fit every single window perfectly, like a puzzle that keeps you alive through the night. This simple trick can raise your interior temperature by 15 to 20 degrees. No heater needed, no engine running, just foam and physics working together. These women call it stealth mode because nobody can see inside your vehicle. You get warmth and privacy in one single move. For women sleeping alone, that invisibility is not optional at all. It is survival itself. Some women permanently attach these boards with Velcro strips for convenience. Their car is not a car anymore at that point. It is a micro cabin on wheels that works in July and January equally well. But here is where it gets tricky for everyone. Your breath has to go somewhere when you sleep. In a sealed car, that moisture has nowhere to escape at all. By morning, everything inside is completely wet. Your windows, your blankets, your carefully preserved dignity. The human body releases roughly 1 pint of water vapor every single night just from breathing normally. In an airtight space, that is a recipe for soggy misery every morning. Still, when it is 20 degrees outside and you do not have money for a motel room, soggy beats frozen every single time, without question. Some car sleepers get creative with this setup. They leave one tiny corner unsealed for minimal airflow. Others just accept the morning moisture situation as part of the deal entirely. A small price for not becoming a human popsicle overnight. The foam coffin method works reliably. It is proven through years of use. It is cheap enough for anyone, but blocking heat loss is only half the battle you face. What if you could actually generate more warmth from inside your body? Here is the thing about surviving a freezing night in your car alone. Insulation only gets you halfway there to safety. The real heat source is you, your own body itself. And some homeless women have figured out how to hack their metabolism like it is a programmable furnace. The trick is fat, not carbs, not protein specifically. Fat. About 30 to 60 minutes before sleep, experienced car dwellers eat things like peanut butter straight from the jar, hunks of sharp cheese, or canned sardines in oil. Sounds like a weird midnight snack choice, right? But there is actual science behind it. Digesting fat produces way more body heat than digesting carbs does. It is called thermogenesis by scientists. Basically, your digestive system works harder to break down fatty foods properly, and that extra metabolic effort generates significant warmth throughout your body. You are literally turning your stomach into a space heater that runs for hours. Now here is where it gets really clever. These women Time their fuel load so peak heat production hits around 2 or 3 in the morning precisely. That is when temperatures drop to their absolute lowest outside. That is when hypothermia sneaks up on people who are unprepared. By eating strategically, they are matching their body's heat output to the coldest window of the night exactly. 4 to 6 hours of slow burning internal warmth from one single meal consumed. Not bad at all for a $2 jar of Skippy peanut butter. But what about alcohol? It makes you feel warm initially, does it not? Worst mistake you can possibly make. Alcohol dilates your blood vessels immediately. It brings blood rushing to your skin surface. It feels cozy for about 20 minutes maximum. Then you are radiating heat into the cold air like a broken radiator losing fluid. People have died thinking whiskey would save them from the cold. Military survival training actually teaches this eating for warmth concept extensively. Arctic expeditions have used it for decades, and now it is standard knowledge among car-sleeping communities online. Here is the thing about cold weather. It does not hit hardest at midnight like most people assume. It waits patiently. The absolute coldest moment happens around 3 to 4 in the morning. Consistently. Your body knows this, even if your brain does not consciously. Core temperature drops to its lowest point during those dangerous hours. Metabolism slows down significantly. And if you are sleeping in a car without heating available, this is when hypothermia stops being just a word and starts being a real, deadly possibility. So what do experienced car sleepers do about this? They set alarms on their phones. Sounds ridiculous at first, right? Waking up in the middle of the night to run your engine for 15 minutes seems crazy, but it works reliably. The timing is carefully calculated. You are hitting that engine heat exactly when your body is most vulnerable to cold. 15 minutes of warm air during the danger window can carry you through until sunrise safely. It is like giving your body a thermal reset button. Now let us talk about money and costs. Running a car engine for 15 minutes burns roughly 0.2 gallons of gas. At current prices, that is about 70 cents total. For someone budgeting every single dollar, that is a real expense to consider. But it is also cheaper than a hospital visit for frostbite damage. But here is where it gets genuinely serious. Approximately 430 Americans die every year from carbon monoxide poisoning in vehicles. Most fell asleep with the engine running too long. The invisible killer, they call it. You cannot smell it building up around you. You just drift off peacefully and never wake up again. Experienced car dwellers have developed countermeasures over time. They park facing downhill, so exhaust flows away from the vehicle. Others position their cars into the wind for the same reason. Some crack a window during these warming sessions, even though it seems counterproductive. And there is one warning sign everyone learns to recognize. When you stop shivering, you are not warming up. You are in serious trouble. Shivering is your body fighting back against cold. When it quits fighting, that is when you absolutely need engine heat right away. Where you park might matter more than what you sleep in. Hospital parking garages stay 20 to 30 degrees warmer than outdoor lots consistently. All those cars coming and going throughout the night, engines running and heat bleeding from the building itself make a steady source of warmth. It is basically free heating. Nobody asked permission to use. Underground structures are even better for warmth. Here is why. The Earth, just a few feet below the surface, stays around 55 degrees year-round. It does not matter if it is January or July up top. That parking garage is borrowing the planet's natural thermostat, but my personal favorite trick that Black homeless women have perfected is parking against a 24-hour laundromat exterior wall. Those industrial dryers run all night without stopping. The building's backside becomes a giant radiator essentially. You are cuddling a warm brick wall without paying for a single load of laundry. Pretty clever, right? Now here is where it gets more complicated for women specifically. Police encounters carry different risks. A black woman sleeping in her car faces scrutiny that others often escape. Smart car sleepers never stay comfortable in one location for long. They rotate between 3 or 4 safe spots throughout the week. Monday at the hospital, Wednesday behind the laundromat, Friday in the Walmart lot. Why bother with all that movement? Because humans are pattern recognition machines. Security guards notice regular faces. Neighbors notice unfamiliar cars. That concerned citizen who calls the police notices patterns. Staying invisible means staying unpredictable. Some veterans keep mental maps of every tolerant location within a 20-mile radius. They know which businesses have relaxed security on weekends, which residential streets have no HOA busybodies watching, and which church parking lots actually practice what they preach. Hot water bottles sound like something your great-grandmother owned. Turns out they are absolute gold for car sleepers today. A good rubber hot water bottle releases heat slowly over 4 to 6 hours. That is basically a gentle heater that needs zero electricity, makes no noise, and costs maybe $8 at a pharmacy. Gas station microwaves become essential survival tools. Most stations have them for heating up burritos and those questionable hot dogs. Buy a coffee, ask nicely, and you can heat water in a microwave-safe bottle. The transaction costs nothing extra. Staff usually do not care. Placement matters more than you would think initially. Slapping a hot bottle against your feet feels nice, but it is actually quite inefficient for warming your body. The real trick is placing it against major blood vessels in your body. Inner thighs, armpits, and the stomach area work best for distribution. Your blood carries that warmth everywhere throughout your body, turning your circulatory system into a heat distribution network. Pretty smart for something that looks like a deflated balloon, right? A 2-liter bottle filled with water at 150 degrees contains enough thermal energy to keep a sleeping bag noticeably warm for most of a cold night. We are talking 5 to 6 hours of genuine warmth from something you could buy at any convenience store for cheap. Some car sleepers run relay systems with multiple bottles throughout the night. When one cools down around 2 in the morning, swap it out for another that has been wrapped in towels to retain heat longer. It is like having a pit crew for your sleep setup. Now here is where things get really interesting. Some car sleepers have basically become electrical engineers out of pure necessity. Heated car seat cushions designed for truckers can run 8 or more hours on a single marine deep cycle battery. We are talking only 3 to 4 amps of draw total. That is less power than your refrigerator light uses. These cushions were not made for homeless people specifically. They were made for long-haul drivers who spend weeks living in their cabs. But hey, if the shoe fits. USB-powered heating pads have changed the game completely. These little things draw about 5 watts. That is roughly what it takes to charge your phone. You slip one inside your sleeping bag, position it near your core, and suddenly, you have got targeted warmth for pennies worth of electricity. It is like having a heating pad at the doctor's office, except your office is a 2004 Honda Civic. Portable power stations have changed everything for car sleepers. Brands like Jackery can run heating elements for 2 or 3 nights between charges. Not cheap up front, but when you calculate nightly motel cost versus a $200 battery purchase, the math gets real obvious real fast. And here is the part nobody talks about openly. Where do you recharge all this stuff? Libraries. Genius, right? Car sleepers spend hours during the day reading while their batteries quietly fill up at the outlet under the desk. Free electricity, free warmth, and you might accidentally learn something while you are at it. Here is where things get uncomfortable honestly. Every night, a sleeping person exhales roughly 1 pint of water vapor. Trap that moisture inside a sealed cockshar with no ventilation, and by morning, you are waking up in an ice cave. Experienced car dwellers hoard silica gel packets like they are gold bars. Those little do not eat pouches from shoeboxes, beef jerky bags, and electronics packaging are pure treasure. The survival crack technique involves cracking a window exactly 1/4 of an inch, just enough airflow to prevent condensation, but not enough to lose serious heat. It sounds counterintuitive, letting cold air in to stay warm, but it works. Physics is weird like that. Nobody survives winter in a car alone, ultimately. That is just reality. The smartest car sleepers figured this out years ago. During dangerous cold snaps, two people share one vehicle together. It is simple math. Two bodies produce double the heat output. You go from 80 watts to 160 watts in a sealed space. That is the difference between a rough night and a hospital trip. But here is what most people miss entirely. It is not just about warmth. Car pairing creates survival networks. These communities check on each other at dawn every single morning. If someone does not respond, missed check-ins trigger welfare searches. People actually go looking for them. In a world that mostly ignores homeless women, someone notices if you do not wake up. Mutual aid groups have developed what they call cold call phone trees. Volunteers send two in the morning text check-ins to known car sleepers during freezing nights. A simple, "You okay?" message that might save a life. And the weird part is the psychological warmth matters just as much as physical heat. Isolation during cold nights creates depression spirals. Companion sleeping breaks that cycle. Having another heartbeat nearby changes everything completely. So what have we learned? Sleeping in a freezing car is not about one magic solution. It is insulation boards and metabolic hacks and strategic engine runs. It is Mylar blankets and hot water bottles and parking spot chess. It is moisture management and air gaps and looking out for each other. Black homeless women have turned survival into engineering. These techniques are not just homeless hacks. They are solutions born from necessity, creativity, and the determination to see another morning. And frankly, that is pretty remarkable.